Okay, so this morning I'm going to be discussing this pen. This is a knockoff of the Parker. Let me put on the cap and show you what that looks like. So here's the pen. Anyone that's ever seen the Parker will recognize this immediately. It has the arrow clip, very recognizable for the Parker brand. And then this has interesting finials. Well, it has a finial on this side, a white one. It looks kind of cheap at first, just a cheap plastic thing glued on there. But as you begin to appreciate the intelligence and design principles that went into the rest of the pen, it starts in your mind taking on a little bit more of a luxurious look. It's kind of weird how that works. And then eventually you think, oh, it's just kind of a nice looking new finial. Anyway, here's the body. This one's obviously a demonstrator. And you can see the mechanism. You can see that little button at the end. This is a vacuum fill pen. Is that interesting? So there you can see a little ink sloshing around. It looks kind of bad now because it's almost empty, and this ink has a tendency to, I don't know how it does that. Little clumps of it stick on the sides of the barrel. Sorry, I'll get that in focus there. Okay, so the way this works is you first unscrew that cap at the back. And there's that cap, and I've taken it off now, and you can see that button is now completely exposed. So I will actually demonstrate this when it's in ink, but to fill it, you take off the cap, obviously. You put the tip into the ink, and you just push this button, and it's spring-loaded. So this is its resting position. It's like the TWSBI Go kind of, in that you push down, and the spring pushes this back up to its position. But as you push, it sends this plunger down, and it's got a vacuum fill. So there's a difference. This creates a vacuum behind the plunger, and when it gets to about here, it releases the vacuum and sucks ink up out of the bottle into it. And you can press this a couple times and get a pretty good fill on there. Amazing technology. It's so easy to fill the pen. You just take off the cap, put it in ink, bop, bop, you're done. You just wipe off the nib. And then the cap posts deeply and very well, very securely. And check out that nib. Now, cool, the fact that it's a hooded nib also helps to keep it wet so that it's ready to write. This cap does a really good job of sealing it, but then there's also this hooded aspect. And you can see, because this is a demonstrator, the ink runs down into the feed, that whole section, the whole thing becomes filled with ink. And that, combined with that hooded nature of the nib, means this thing is just always ready to write. I've never picked it up and had a hard start, ever. That's a big deal for me. This is a fine point nib, but it's not too fine. Writes really nicely. This is the size of the writing. Very comfortable, not too wet.